Welcome to our spring concert. That was fanfare for the Common Man by one of my very favorite composers, Aaron Copland. And that piece was commissioned in 1942 to kind of lift up the spirits of the common man during World War II. Something to note, we have several students on the stage with flowers on. Those are seniors, and they're pretty fancy people, and we like them. So we're going to celebrate them with this concert. Our next piece is by another favorite composer of mine, Eric Whitaker, and it's called October. Why are we playing October in May? It's on the Class A list, so that's why. But this is an awesome piece. This is October.
Murphy. Okay, I'll use my teacher voice. Our next piece, we're going to switch gears a lot. We are going to perform for you the Mambo from West Side Story. And if you haven't seen West Side Story, it's about two gangs dancing in the gym, at least for this part, because that happens a lot, right? They're fantastic dancers. I don't know, best gang dancing I've ever seen. So, it's the Mambo.
All right, it's good to know people. That was Aiden Ingebrigtsen on trumpet, and in the October soloists were Aiden and Lydia Mack and Lyris Bubbles. Yeah. All right, okay, I'm writing on my score now, apparently. A couple of things I want to note. We had several students participate in our Solo and Ensemble Festival in March. And also our jazz band performed at that version of solo and ensemble in Fenimore. So if you were a member of the jazz band or participated at districts, would you please stand? And if you performed at state for band or piano, would you remain standing? You can have a seat. Okay, Polaris, you can't sit though. Polaris, stand up. Okay, this is Polaris. Polaris performed at a concerto competition with the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra and won, earning $500 and the opportunity to perform that concerto with the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra in June. So let's give Polaris a round of applause. I would be terrified to do that, so good job. All right, a little light on the audience, please. A little house light, please. All right, here's the fun question. How many of you played an instrument in high school? Raise your hands. Well, good for you. Time to dust off that instrument and join us in community band. We start June 5th here in the band room, 7 o'clock. You're all invited. So those of you who performed in high school and any of these high school graduates can join us with the community band. So our first concert is, I can't do math on stage, but thank you, the 19th of June is 2 weeks after our first performance. So, all right, house lights can go back down. I think that's about it. At the completion of our next and final piece, I'm going to have our senior band members stand, followed by our soloist, who's Finn Hoffman back there. Really excited? Are you? And then also we will be recognizing our seniors during the vocal part of the performance tonight, followed by a senior picture at the end of the performance as well. So please stick around, get some pictures if you would like. And we're going to celebrate our seniors with a piece called Celebration.
health. And before we let you move on to the choir concert, we just really wanted to thank someone who has given us a home, has given us something to carry, whether, music means everything to someone. Even, if you're going into college for it, which we have a few seniors who are, or if you are just thinking about the funny things Mrs. V said later to help you remember certain things. Either way, we've taken something away from this band room that we couldn't have gotten anywhere else. So, and the only person that really could have done that for us is a great band teacher like Mrs. V. So, why don't we give her a round of applause? She's really given us a lot to learn off of, to work together on, and no matter what, we're always going to remember her, and that's always what you want from high school. Because the people on this stage, for almost everyone, have been working at music for a really, really long time. A really long time, and some of those days it feels like you don't care anymore. But there's always something that makes you remember music was there from the start, and it's just kind of something that will always be there with you until, you're old. And then you're asked to be in a community band. So we just had a gift for her, just for one of our school moms, because sometimes, your moms don't know how to play music. And so, she's been a rock here at school for us over everything over these last 4 years. So we just really like to thank her. So I hope you all enjoy the
Aw, shucks. These are my COVID kids. These are my kids that started out, and I can't believe they stuck through it, with the, hey guys, we're gonna play smart music at home, and then you're gonna clean your mouthpiece, and then you're gonna show me what you found inside. Yep, those are those kids. Yep. So thank you seniors for sticking it out. It's been a fun ride. All right, thank you.
see where she comes with flowery garments crowned. Queen of all queens, Queen of all queens, Queen of all queens, beloved. Then sang the shepherds and nymphs of Diana, nymphs of
These first two pieces were pieces that we did for no. We did for solo and ensemble, state solo and ensemble, and we're just beginning to start having fun with them. They are. The first one is a 3-part madrigal for treble voices, and that one went together pretty quickly. But the second one is 5 parts, and we have, I don't know, 3 tenors and 5 basses, and the divisi and all the sorting out of parts, that is sometimes kind of a nightmare. And we worked really hard to get that. And it's taken a fair amount of time away from other music, because I have this affinity for music that is really hard. And I really like it. And I really force it upon them. And thankfully, and I am truly thankful, that they just keep coming back to my room. Most of them. Some of them don't, but most of them do. And we've worked really hard on all of this music. We started the next 2 pieces in the fall, and I soon realized that I thought these pieces would be better after we sang together for a few months. And so we tabled them, and we learned different music for our fall concert, and we saved these so that we had a more cohesive ensemble. And then, with all the madrigal learning, we've tabled them again, and now we've been a little bit nervous about both of these pieces, and not to worry. We're on a different trajectory. Often the concert is the culmination of our work, but we have a couple of clinicians coming in a few weeks, and we hope to be well polished for them. We're going to have Dr. Bob Demery come and work with this ensemble, and then and Amanda Huntley from Clark College is going to come and work with the chambers or the concert choir on a different day. And so we're looking forward to kind of still working on this music and having it come together even more tightly. Sicut Cervus, the next piece, is probably one of the most famous works of choral literature ever. It's from the 1500s. Palestrina was obviously a genius, although I've heard that he really wasn't a very good singer. He wrote some gorgeous music. And in this setting, he sets Psalm 42, "As the deer desires the water brooks, so my soul desires you, O God." And it is truly a work of art, and even though not all of us really like it, I like it. And so that's the whole decision-making process right there. And I've talked too long, and we need to sing it a little bit, but I wanted to kind of set the stage for what you're about to hear. This motet is so, it's really quite amazing. And then we will follow that with something very different. James Agee, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'm sure Mr. Jonas will let me know at some point. That he wrote a number of literary works, short stories, novels, and poetry. And this particular poem, "Sure on This Shining Night," captures the beauty of the night, the shimmering of the stars, to the point where he says, "I leap in wonder." and it's just about beauty. And contemporary composer Morton Lauridsen, who lives on some island out in the, I don't know, Bering Sea or something. I don't know, it's way up north, and Pacific Northwest. And he wrote this piece, and it divides into 8 parts at times, and he just is a really artistic and stunning composer, and his works are very, very well known in this world, this choral world, and even in the band world, and orchestra world. So this is Sure on This Shining Night by Morton Lauridsen. point, we'll have our concert choir come up, and we're just going to expand the group and keep on moving. Before we go too far, Mrs. Vogelsberg and I joked about having the solo and ensemble members stand, and she said I never am able to do that. So I'll have them raise their hand. If you were in district solo and ensemble or song spinners at district level, will you raise your hand? I'd like to tell the numbers, but I don't know what they are. And those of you who performed at State on Saturday in some ensemble or solo. It was really a fun day, and we had 3 vocal ensembles perform, which it's been a while since we've had that, and at State, and it was just a nice day all the way around. Things were spaced out. We had a little downtime in between, and we could each time gear up for our group, and we got to hear some other groups perform in some way, shape, or form, and that is educational. God forbid we should have any of that. We are going to sing a piece by Antonio Vivaldi, and one interesting thing about Vivaldi is that we wouldn't know he existed at all had it not been that some of his music was found in the library of Johann Sebastian Bach. They were contemporaries. They lived approximately at the same time. If you look at Vivaldi's dates, they're just about like Bach's. Bach was a little younger, 1685 to 1750, and all the way from Italy to Germany, which I know is relatively not that far compared to where we are now, but in that time period, Bach had some of Vivaldi's music, and in studying his library, it was discovered, and then Vivaldi was discovered, and all the music he wrote for this all-girls school where he worked as a musician. So anyway, this is from his Gloria, which is a multi-movement work, and this is just one of the movements from the Gloria. It says, the only begotten Son, Lord Jesus Christ, and it's called Domine Filii Unigenite, and it is just a picture of, or an image, or the perfect example of a piece from this time period, the Baroque era. We will be honoring our seniors after this piece, but I do want to remind you all to, as you head on out, to check out our honors wall. We added 3 new faces, and there are a couple on deck that will be coming sometime next year. When they get their senior pictures taken, we'll get them up there. Just applaud them as you go by. The next piece I selected because it's one of those pieces that everybody should know. And I bet you maybe even you've heard it before. It's just a classic, and I thought, everybody knows "O Sole Mio," either from some sort of ad or something, or whatever else, we should know the whole tune. And so I found the music, and we purchased it, and it's here. And they absolutely, this has got to be the favorite piece they've ever sung in their lives. I keep telling them that, and I hope that they suddenly start to believe me. But it's just one of those pieces. I think it's a little bit of my job to kind of expose them to some new music, or some music that lots of people know. And so that's what we're doing here with Sole Mio, My Son. Even Elvis did an English arrangement of this, or a setting of this. I can't think of the words right now, but it's very well known. All right. O Sole Mio. I believe we have some seniors in the room, and I believe we usually make them line up here in a big, long line. Is that right, Mrs. Vogelsberg?
Yeah.
All right. And you're coming? All right. Seniors, make a long line. And if you're out there, seniors, come up and make a long line.
But wait, there's more. There they come. We have them all. Look at this gang. Aren't they great? All right, so we just publicly say their names because they need to be recognized. So we have Natalie Moore, and we'll wait for applause until the end. Lydia Mack, Isak Meyer Quinn. Yes. Apologize. Jacob Daigle, Aiden Ingebrigtsen, Chloe Krepp, Paige Lowing, Violet Hibbard, Carolyn Raker, Anna Esser, Inez Garcia, great, okay, which is our exchange student. Actually a senior from Madrid. Singer Mundy, Elena Stater, Brooklyn Russell, Abby Burke, Sydney Bush, Madison Tracy, and Caitlin Nee Collins.
I should say something. I've already said enough. Most people would agree with that. We have had a great time together. We traveled to New York together, I think. Well, many of us, some of us, it was not a great time to travel to New York, but we, some of us braved it, and we wish we would have had everybody with us at that time. But this is a really, really fun group of individuals, and their presence will be missed as we move forward, starting in the fall. And they are on a new course and doing adventurous things and having more fun than we, I'm sure they will be having more fun than we will. And that's what we celebrate for them at this point in time. And hopefully they'll all be making some music next year, somewhere, somehow, some shape or form, even if it's karaoke. All right. We're going to conclude our concert and give them another round of applause, please. After that great Neapolitan song, sung in Neapolitan, which is a little bit of a regional dialect of Italian that some of the words don't even look Italian. It was quite a job to learn. We're going to sing a piece called 1 Million Voices. And this piece is just designed to challenge us a little bit, challenge you a little bit, and it just builds and builds and builds. So we're going to demonstrate that. Just another reminder, please remember, we have a middle school concert on Thursday night, middle school choirs and bands, and art show, I believe, probably in the Commons as usual, and it starts at 7 o'clock, and that's all I'm going to say about that. If you have a child in that, you should have gotten some information already. All right. So hopefully we'll see you there. Come on back. 1 Million Voices by a composer named Brian Tate.
great night.